Text Injury Help to 40222. That's Injury Help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Maida Chevy has a great selection, great factory financing, and incentives. And with great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock, you'll see why everyone is saying, great deal, Maida. Find your great deal at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive. Feel the earth shake at the Fall National Stockton Tractor Bowl, Saturday, September 13th at Stockton Dirt Track. Massive machines, raw horsepower, and dirt slinging action. Tickets start at just $15. Visit StocktonDirtTrack.com for tickets and info. Don't miss the action.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper for Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys. Right now is the perfect time to take advantage of their massive Labor Day savings. Up to $2,500 off select heating and cooling systems. Plus, they'll throw in a free 50-gallon water heater. These deals won't last long, so call Bell Brothers, the No Surprise Guys, or visit them at nosurpriseguys.com.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Drake should be back on Monday. I'm sure he'll be crowing about that Eagle win last night. So, yeah, we have football to talk about today. And we're with you till 4:30 because we've got football for you today on Sacktown Sports. The Chargers and the Chiefs from Brazil. But, Jay, we got to start with this. Do the 49ers have an issue all of a sudden? We're anxiously awaiting Kyle Shanahan's address to the media today. Christian McCaffrey was at practice today, but he didn't practice with everybody. And I don't know. I don't want to overreact, but if you're a 49er fan, you can't help but remember a year ago how everything seemed fine with Christian McCaffrey. Then it was like, nope, he's gone. I don't know, Jay. Do you think the 49ers and 49er fans should be worried about Christian McCaffrey right now?
Well, I don't know if the proper word is worried, but I definitely think you should be interested in what is going on. Mm-hmm. Worried would basically mean that we're taking the face value of what the 49ers and or media has said in the form of like, yeah, they're lying. because of what happened last year. But I do think you need to be very, very interested. You should keep your eyes glued on to the Matt Mayokos, the Matt Barrows, of course here, Sports 1140, Rob Brooks, who's coming up at 2:30.
That's right.
Those type of people to really get the good information. I'd be surprised if he doesn't give it a go, meaning he doesn't play, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is something there and the 49ers aren't talking about it, because you have always said Shanahan ain't a little funny the way he operates, and we've seen, examples of the 49ers kind of circumventing we use circumventing for the word of the week, circumventing
the truth.
IR. Yes.
Circumventing the truth.
Yes.
Yeah. Matt Barrows, to your point about an hour ago, Christian McCaffrey was in uniform and was warming up ahead of practice, running, hopping on one foot, backpedaling, etc. However, he did not join his fellow first stringers when the practice began, and this is today's practice. Instead, he continued to warm up on his own. And then Matt Barrows mentions that Kyle Shanahan should be speaking. He should be speaking very soon if he's not speaking right now. So we keep you
up to date. I think 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah. And Jay, here's the thing. Last year, as I just mentioned, we know that the 49ers were not very forthcoming. They're not obligated to be, but if you're a fan, that's why you can't help but worry. It's like, when you have from Tom Pelissero. This was this morning on NFL Network. Tom Pelissero, quote, "I will say this cautiously. Here is what I would tell you." See, you're already there. You're saying it with caution, and this is what I would tell you. He's qualifying it, which makes you a little suspicious. Quote, "I do not get the sense, based on the conversations I've had so far, that there are alarm bells going off about Christian McCaffrey at this point. If there's any player you're going to take precautions with, if he feels something in practice, it's the guy who's arguably your best player and missed most of last season because of a variety of different ailments." So even that just says the 49ers aren't saying there's anything wrong. And that's not comforting when last year they didn't say anything was wrong, even when we know things were wrong.
Yeah, that's what I said. I truly think you pay attention.
Yep.
I'm not going to worry about something. And I think I've said it all week. I feel like I've said it the last couple of weeks. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm preparing myself not for the letdown, but for the probably unavoidable. Like, the 49ers are going to have injuries. And that's why I say I don't think you worry about it, because I think if you're really true and you're telling yourself the truth, the 49ers are going to have injuries. And I truly believe CMC is going to miss a handful of games. If you look at his history, it shows he misses games. Now, the problem is if you look at the example or the precedent that was set last year,
right,
where you were told, the calf is a situation, then all of a sudden it traveled down to the Achilles, and then now it's like, he might not play the full year.
Then,
right.
Sorry, it's actually bilateral.
So the precaution compared to what you look at last year is this. It's not, and I went back and made sure I looked at this. The way the verbiage, the language, and how people are operating and talking about this is not the same as they were looking at it last year. So to me, I think he's going to give it a go. Now, if it comes out something a little worse, then we'll talk about that when the time comes. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
But I'm fan how you want to fan.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Well, at least they've made some arrangements in case he can't go. Not that you have another Christian McCaffrey, but you're right. I mean, that's what's concerning is that, we haven't seen the real Christian McCaffrey now, and it's been more than a season. So I don't know if Kyle Shanahan's going to shed any light on that. The truth probably is this, as you said, Jay, he may give it a go. He may not on Sunday, and nobody knows, including him, right now, how he's going to feel on Sunday. So what can anyone tell us? Basically, it's like, gosh, we hope he's okay, but we don't really know right now.
Your calf, back, hamstring. Am I missing something? But normally those 2 or 3 areas, neck, those are kind of the things that you can't really quantify as being broke or strained. It's really about how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fractured. Your back is fractured. Like, have you ever heard a person say, his back is fractured? Very rarely. It's my back is hurting.
Mm-hmm. From the 279, early candidate for text of the day.
Here we go.
Nominee here. Happy Friday, Whitey. Just want to say I sure enjoyed some pie after that Cowboys loss last night. Ha ha! Pie is so elite.
That's out to the 279 Sacramento alternative area code.
You just got to put your name on it. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
I mentioned yesterday, Jay, that I don't know who I'm going to root for. The Eagles or the Cowboys. I will admit, once that game started, I had no problem rooting for the Cowboys.
I'm with you.
None whatsoever.
I found myself, come on, Dak.
Yeah.
Come on, figure this out. Okay, fellas, I see you working.
Monte Williams, go.
Yeah. And maybe it's the underdog syndrome. I think that was more it. Like, Eagles are supposed to win. By the time I turned on the game, so by the time I grabbed my daughter, she's for practice, we go to the house. Because I'll be honest, I'm not in no rush to ever go watch an Eagles-Cowboys game. I don't give a damn if it's the NFL or not. Both of those teams, I'm not tied in that much. I'd rather go see a Jags Colts game. Cowboys, Eagles, can't stand both of the teams at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Get home, and I'm like, oh, Dallas is rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
They're in the game. And I had just talked to Angie, who is our production young lady,
Big
does
Cowboy
fantastic
fan,
work.
right?
Big Cowboy fan. Before I left the studio, I said, man, y'all be lucky if y'all stay within 10 points. And she's like, I know. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I peel back the curtain. You guys are up. And then Eagles scored 21-20. So that's when I pretty much locked into the game. But it surprised me. Now I found myself, come on, Dak, get it together.
Yeah.
Dak was balling, man.
Man, that's a nice throw he made.
CD.
The one the CD dropped. There's like 4 of them. But you know the one I mean.
Second
got
one.
him into the red zone.
Yeah, that was the one.
Fourth quarter,
That, and I think Miles Sanders' fumble right before they stopped the action. Those two were the plays that I look back on like, that changes the game.
Yep.
Because Miles Sanders, they're probably marching in for a touchdown. And then he just he coughed it up.
Yeah, you're right. And then I would add to those maybe a little lesser magnitude, but all the times that Jalen Hurts on third down found a way to just wiggle his way to a first down.
You know what's frustrating for me is third down. It was 3rd and 2, right? And Chris Collinsworth says, everybody knows what's coming. You got to be careful. Jalen Hurts, they're probably going to keep the ball in his hand, let him do what he does. They spread it open. I said, man, he's running up the middle. This is football 101. And what do the Cowboys do? They get spread out. The Eagles, you got to give them some love. The scheme of dropping the tight end right in front of 5 yard in the spin, and then the Cowboys linebacker having to play over the top of him. It's a great scheme. But you knew it was coming. I'd have let him throw the ball. I'd rather you beat me that way than you beat me with Jalen Hurts up the middle.
I know a lot of Cowboy fans are talking about something that I only noticed once towards the end of the game, but then you go back and watch video and maybe you saw it many times. George Pickens took a lot of plays off, Jay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
If it would involve him blocking, he's like, nah. He just kind of run around in a spot and just kind of pull up and that's
kind of been some of his MO though.
Yes, it has.
The Steelers and we know Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they require toughness. They require you lock in. They require you focus. He's not there for a reason. And I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think that's a huge part of, if you do your research, a lot of Steeler fans and media, they're like, George Pickens is talented, but there's some things that he's deficient in.
Yeah. No block, no rock. That's the way Kyle Shanahan does it. But it was a great game. It was a very entertaining game.
Yeah, it was.
And I watched some other things for a little bit, but I stuck it out through the lightning delay.
I did. I mean, I turned away. I'm not sitting there watching all of that. I got other things to do. But you're just looking for the notification. Oh, it's coming back 15 minutes. All right, cool. Then I'll go sit back down. And I'm like Kyle Draper. I'm not going to sit around and listen to, Rodney Harrison talk about what's going on when I just watched it. Can I say something? Because 2 things popped into my mind when you said you've seen a lot of Cowboys fans talking about George Pickens. The other thing I've seen quite a lot about is the actual line of scrimmage and how the Philadelphia Eagles line up, the formation. Have you saw a lot of conversation about that today?
No.
So it's the center is above the rest of the O-line, and the O-line look like they have a flying V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so a lot
is illegal.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are saying. Why are the Eagles consistently allowed to get away with this?
Yeah.
A lot of people talked about the tush push.
Yeah.
That's the formation that they use for the tush push. And so a lot of people have been talking about that. But let me dive into this. It is September, is it not?
It is September.
Okay. Early September, is it not?
It is.
We just talked about, for us OGs in the game, Labor Day is pretty much the end of summer to us. Not officially, but to us, right? Why in the hell, and I get it, we just had some weird little weather here out in your way.
Yeah.
How in the hell is it thundering and lightning in September in the East Coast?
Well, it's in the fall. You get a lot of, when the seasons change.
But is it the fall?
It's almost the fall. Yeah, the fall is, it's late summer at the very least.
Man.
I don't know how common that is, to your point. I don't know. But we do get weirder weather than we ever used to, and a lot more of it.
It's nothing like California weather.
Yeah, but, we have our moments here, too.
Yeah, but, I mean, when's the last time you can remember, and I'm not putting you on the spot, I'm just kind of sarcastically saying this. When's the last time you can remember a game in California being stopped due to lightning?
Yeah, I don't recall.
In September.
No.
It's almost like baseball, and, I always talk about this. April, we start the season, and in Minnesota, it's snowing.
Yep.
And you can't play. What in the hell is going on in Minnesota? What's going on in Philadelphia that we have to stop a game in September, man? Come on over to Cali, baby.
That's
going back to Cali. Fantastic weather.
Yeah. I always wonder about that early in the baseball season when you've got West Coast teams and they're playing back east or in April. It's like, why, if there's no weather in California, why aren't you playing these games in California? But I guess it has something to do with, which teams are where later in the year when people are out of school. I don't know. Here was my thing, Jay. You mentioned when they had, it was Maria Taylor and the four of them, Jason Garrett, and then Rodney, and then Coach Dungy. And they have this long delay, so they've got to fill. And this is a radio thing. They did a good job. But I always find myself going, you stupid TV people. We do that 4 hours every day. You got to do it for 20 minutes, and it's panic time. What are we going to do? Because it's not all scripted for you, right?
The teleprompter isn't moving.
Right.
I'm with you.
And they did a good job. But I always find myself going, not so easy, is it?
It definitely isn't. It's there's a lot of real estate in radio versus television.
Yeah.
TV, for me, I've always looked at TV as music radio, and music radio over the years, Pandora, with streaming, whatever you want to call it, has definitely kind of whittled down. And you can talk more about this. When you started in radio, music, right? That was your first station.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had way more real estate to talk. Now it's like you get 60 seconds and then you're introducing a song or a quick little prize giveaway, and then you're done. Boom, it's over with. That's TV to me. Is you're really getting 60 seconds to bloviate, and then you're moving on. You get your 60 seconds. If you Rodney, if you're Jack Collinsworth, and then it goes over to Coach, and then Maria gets her 60 seconds, and she's orchestrating, manipulating the board. To me, that's it. 60 seconds, that's easy. You do that 5 times a segment.
Right. Name any TV show where they talk, like Jimmy Fallon, any show like that.
Yeah.
Kimmel, any of those. They're how long? Like an hour?
Yes.
How many writers do they have for a show like that?
Oh, man, 30.
How many writers do we have for 4 hours on the radio?
That'd be 0.
We don't have any.
That'd be 0. I know.
Sorry. I know if you're at work or you're driving home, whatever, it doesn't matter. I apologize for going on that rant, but I think of that every time TV people have to. All right, wow, we gotta vamp a little bit here.
I think I've told this story before, and if I haven't, forgive me. I did 1 week, one solid week on Dr. Phil's show.
Really?
Yeah, I worked on Dr. Phil's show for 1 week.
What were you doing?
I was a producer, so I was super early. Paramount, who owned the show at the time. So I literally get hired, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be producer number," and I'm not kidding you. You're producer number 4.
Whoa!
I said, "What does that mean?" Because in television, to pull back the curtain, you have an executive producer, you have a segment producer, you have a line producer. I know I'm going to the weeds, but with all that being said, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're producer number 4." So, okay, what does that mean? I'm a line producer, a segment producer, a set producer. What does that mean? No, you're producer number 4. I said, okay, cool. Like, oh, you also have a team of 3 people who do the research for you. They go find things, they bring it to you. You see if it's, worth it. Then when we come back into the meeting every Monday, you pitch your story and hopefully we go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, cool. Oh, by the way, there's 6 other producers. So wait a minute. Technically, I'm producer number 7. Like, yeah. Needless to say,
it's a pretty large staff.
That 200 deep.
Yeah.
Felt like 200 deep on one television show. Now, no doubt, because it's Dr. Phil, he's got a lot of cachet, money behind
watching,
it.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Could you imagine that?
It's hard to imagine.
Could you imagine if we even had 15 people?
Stay out of each other's way.
I have no clue, brother.
By the way, we have this from both Matt Barrows and Vic Tafer, both reporting on X. Kyle Shanahan said McCaffrey did not practice with the team and is questionable for Sunday, Jay.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey, questionable for Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll pass along any more information when it becomes available to us. But I will say this, with the new injury designations, new as in the last, 8-10 years, whatever they are, there is no probable. There used to be on injury report, somebody could be probable, questionable, doubtful or out. Yeah. There is no more probable. So now anybody who has anything, questionable. So trying to put a positive spin on it. But if he didn't practice, he's going to be all right, Jay. He'll be fine. This is just an overabundance of caution for Christian McCaffrey, and he'll be ready to go Sunday, and we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Quite frankly, I truly believe with this type of injury, you spoke about it minutes ago, you won't know until Sunday. When Sunday arrives, he'll tell you leg is good, and probably we won't know until he gets onto the field. So he could jump up, jump out of bed, kiss his wife, love you, honey, I'm out, jump in a Ferrari, get to Santa Clara, and next thing you know, it's legs hurt. Leg feels good. You're good.
This is an interesting point from Murph. I love that it was a lightning delay, so they take the players off the field. Then they send 4 broadcasters out on the field with microphones in their hands. Yeah.
But didn't they technically push them under the tunnel? Because remember,
I think so,
Maria said, because it's a lightning strike, we have to get under the tunnel too.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but they were, they were on the. I guess they weren't technically on the field. That's the most sense we could make out of it. Will Christian McCaffrey be out on the field on Sunday? It looks like really nobody knows. As much as we all want Kyle Shanahan or Christian McCaffrey to come out and say he's fine, he's good to go, there are no problems, no one can say that. So we just have to wait and see, Jay.
Well, they probably fly out tonight, I would imagine. They'll do a walkthrough tomorrow, and hopefully the Pacific Northwest shows love, and the the atmosphere feels fantastic. They'll go through a walkthrough tomorrow, then they'll bounce up at the hotel. I said, and we'll see how it goes.
By the way, Murph also had the text of the day yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah, you haven't won it today yet, Murph. You're at the top of the leaderboard, but 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 if you want to try to knock Murph off his lofty perch as the texter of the day. How about this thinking, Jay? Hey, it's the first game. If there's any question about Christian McCaffrey's calf/Achilles, any question, you don't want to risk it now because we don't want to be behind the 8 ball with an honest to goodness injury so early in the year. So overabundance of caution, as I said, any question, let's just let him rest it to avoid a bigger problem. Buy into that?
Nah. Is that a Whitey's?
No, I'm just saying that is one way to look. If it were me, I'd say, no, it's a game. We have to win.
Yeah.
We only have 17 of these.
Yeah.
But I could see how they might look at it that way. Okay. I wouldn't, but I could see how they might.
Whitey, I think I'm having a tough time personally. And I get it, we have to have the conversation and, everybody doesn't think like me, but I kind of, for me, this conversation goes into the Jake Moody pile. 49er fans, I'm speaking to you, faithful. Listen, please, if you don't hear me at all, I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. Dude, Christian McCaffrey's going to miss some games this year. I hate that it may be game 1, but it's going to happen. George Kittle is going to miss some games.
Yeah, but
Trent Williams is going to miss some games.
But if those guys miss a lot of games, your season's sunk. If it's one of those seasons like last year where your key players all end up missing a lot of games, you're done.
But
and if McCaffrey is hurt already, you're probably done already.
So, Whitey, it's kind of like the Kings situation, and I liken it to both to bring it together. It's, you have a flawed roster, which is something we've talked about with the Sacramento Kings. If you, as a 49er fan, don't realize that this roster is flawed in some form or fashion because your damn coach told you it was a week and a half ago, living the truth. So why would you be so enamored and be so, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Surprised if you don't think this is going to happen when your coach and your general manager has already told you.
Well, I'm not surprised, but I just hoped it wouldn't. If Christian McCaffrey is hurt before you play your first game, Jay, that's a big thing.
But isn't that, do we not know that coming in?
We knew it was a possibility, but we hoped that it wouldn't happen.
I got you.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's something that,
it's like if you're driving over a rickety bridge, you might fall off.
No,
you
that's different.
Can't say, oh, well, I knew that might happen, so I'm okay.
No, see, that's different. That's different. Because if you're going over a rickety bridge, you're taking a chance with your life, something is serious.
Right.
What I'm saying to you is it's been preconditioned by the powers that be. And if you're fooling yourselves, and maybe fooling is not the proper word.
It's just hope.
Yes, so if you hope, like you say, it could go the opposite way. And I think this is the tough part about it. And this is what I said, maybe I've preconditioned myself is I kind of expected some of this to happen.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I hoped it didn't, but
well, none of it's happened yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see. And maybe Rod Brooks can share some insight. Rod Brooks, NBC Sports Authentic pre- and post-game 49er host, joining us. His first visit of the year is next on Sacktown Sports.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. It's 9/13. Select models only.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Smud Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
I'm tired of being broken. I'm sick of feeling hopeless. Way down here at my lowest. At the end of my rope. At the end of my rope. So what do I do? What do I do?
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. This National Recovery Month, start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Give me a hoe if you got your funky bus.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Yeah, Flashback Friday. I haven't heard this one in a long time.
I got
Jay.
you, Whitey.
Yeah.
Dub G. I got you, baby.
It's also for a lot of 49er fans a somewhat borderline panicky Friday. We're hearing from a lot of anxious Niner fans on the text line. Also on the text line, before we get to our guests, I really got to know why Jay was only a producer on Dr. Phil for only a week. My curiosity is getting the best of me.
We'll get that story
Perhaps
one day.
we'll find we'll find time for that. But right now it's time to bring NBC Sports authentic pre- and post-game host of the Quality Hang Pod, and he is a vastly underrated and underappreciated drummer. We welcome Brooks. How are you, RB?
You know what? I'm doing great. I'm actually doing, not that I was doing badly before, but I'm doing a lot better now. I haven't heard Double Dutch Bus in a minute.
Come on, RB. I got you, baby.
I see you, Jay. You know what? And I don't want it to sound like I didn't know you had that in you.
No.
I didn't.
But I mean, for a long time, you hear that song make you groove, and instantly I'm like, oh yeah, all right. Let's
Start tubbing that toe, bro.
Yeah, Jay, don't you wonder how Rod Brooks, for all his years in a huge market, how he never had a massive endorsement deal with Arby's? Rod Brooks, Arby,
yeah.
right? How did that not happen?
You know why? And RB could definitely speak to this, is because talent, we think out the box.
Yeah.
The AEs, straightforward. Two-way road, bro. Two-way road.
Gotcha.
They just want Ving Rhames yelling at you.
What can you tell us about Christian McCaffrey? And all of a sudden it looks like, wow, we may have an issue here. Rod, what do you think?
They have an issue. How serious the issue? We're going to find out on Sunday. If you guys haven't heard, Christian McCaffrey is officially listed as questionable on the game report. So he's got a 50-50 shot of playing on Sunday in Seattle. So what has gone from an uneventful preseason and training camp, Christian McCaffrey having no health issues, and when you did see him at camp, at practice, he looked really, really good. You go from, all right, he's going to be healthy and they're going to manage him and everything is going to be great. Then you go to yesterday and then he's limited in practice. And you're like, okay, He's limited, but he wasn't out. So, okay. And then you get to today, the Niners practiced at 12:30, and he was unable to go in team drills. He was off to the side. Kyle Shanahan just spoke to the media a little while ago, and he was very and understandably terse with his answers because this is obviously a serious situation. And also, you want to keep the Seahawks guessing as well. But, yeah, he's questionable. And now you start to think, if he's questionable, is it even worth pushing it? First game of the season, although they're all important. Is it worth pushing it at this point in the season? So this is a bit of calculus that the Niners in no way, shape, or form thought that they were going to have to deal with here. And we haven't even had the ball kicked in anger for the first time this season.
RB, you know, it's interesting that you say that because you touched on something that Whitey had just touched on, which is this thing could be a little more worse than, you know, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, what they normally do. They don't normally give us the real, but help me as a faithful, as a 49er fan, because I've tried to bring Whitey to the dark side, and I've been trying to preach to my 49er faithful that this is kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
That CMC is going to miss a game or two. George Kittle's probably going to miss a game or two. Trent Williams is going to miss a game or two. I'm not saying that we don't want that. We want that to happen, but it's kind of been inevitable for this team. With that being said, as Whitey's told me, you don't hope it happens, but am I just being stained or am I being real? Like what's wrong with me, I guess is what
No. Well, I mean, you do have a bit of PTSD,
right?
And that's understandable. But no, man, Jay, you 100% on it. Where they are right, I think you could take Kittle out of the equation when it comes to that, just because he has proven to be durable. He's not prone to getting injured because he's overused and overworked. He's always going to give you max effort, even if he's not at max health. The only way George Kittle is unable to play if he is physically unable to play because of his style of play. He got hit or he hit somebody or whatever. But I think with McCaffrey specifically and Trent Williams, where they are in their careers, and with McCaffrey, his injury history, I won't call him injury prone, but he has an injury history. I think it is, to me, it's just common sense to be like, if you get him for 16, 17 games, then that's almost a blessing. I think the norm, the real, is it's going to be some good and some like where we are right now, albeit unexpectedly the first game of the season. And there's going to be some games where he can't play. Managing him was going to be the order of the day for the season. And it's still going to be whenever Christian McCaffrey plays, and it might end up being a Sunday, who knows? But managing how he is used is just the norm. So being wary about whether you're going to get a good amount of games out of McCaffrey and Trent Williams to a certain but lesser extent, I think as a Niner fan, I don't think that's anything disrespectful to McCaffrey specifically. I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary. It's just where you are right now. I will say this, though, understanding that not having Christian McCaffrey for any game is suboptimal in the truest sense of that term. They won 3 games in a row in Seattle. Last year, they went to Seattle, and they didn't have Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if you remember this. This is in October, October 10th. The Niners went to Seattle. All right, Brock Purdy. He's 10-28. He had 3 touchdowns. 2 of those touchdowns went to George Kittle. 1 of them went to Deebo Samuel on Deebo's 3 receptions. But see, here's the big news. They ran for 228 yards in that game without Christian McCaffrey.
That was a Garendo game, right?
Isaac Garendo, 10 carries for 99 yards. Didn't have a touchdown. Jeff Wilson was in the mix. It was a whole host of guys. Deebo was there. Obviously, he had a few carries. So while, again, this is not optimal if McCaffrey is not able to play, and every year is different. This is a Seattle team that fancies himself different defensively. We'll see about that, although I think they're going to be good this year. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, because we have evidence as soon as last year, less than a calendar year ago, where a Niner team went into Seattle, obviously a big game, obviously a must-win game, without their best player, without their difference maker in Christian McCaffrey, and they went in there and they won. But see, here's the trick, though. You got to get that red zone production from George Kittle, as they did in this game that I'm mentioning last season. You don't have Deebo Samuel, okay? But see, to me, this is a Ricky Pearsall game, all right? If you could get 3 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown out of Ricky Pearsall, along with another couple of expected, I think, touchdowns, then you're doing okay. So while this is not good if McCaffrey can't play, it's not a death sentence by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, Rod Brooks with us, of course, NBC Sports Authentic pre- and post-game host, among other things. If Christian McCaffrey is going to be the Joel Embiid of the NFL, it's kind of a slippery slope. And I get your point. No, I do. I understand the point. But if we can, putting that aside for a moment, I know it's hard to do right now, and maybe it's foolish, but putting the Christian McCaffrey situation aside for the moment, what do you think is their biggest question mark otherwise right now, Rod?
For the entire season?
Yeah.
Defense. 100% defense.
Mm-hmm.
They have, you just see how they drafted. Okay.
Yeah.
They get Robert Saleh back in the mix. Robert Saleh goes, if I'm going to come back here, all right, I got a wife and a bunch of kids. If I'm going to come all the way back here, we need to draft some guys to get this defense back into the image that I had it in, so to speak, when Saleh was the defensive coordinator. And what did they do when Saleh was the coordinator? They had a front that got after you, that stopped the run, didn't get run on up the middle as the Niners did last year. They couldn't stop a nosebleed at times, particularly in the fourth quarter. He had a defensive line that stopped the run, occupied blocks. So the linebackers, Fred Warner, now in this case, D. Winters, they can flow sideline to sideline. They can go get guys. They can do their job in coverage. And you have a good defensive front that gets after the quarterback from the edges and up the middle. And that helps out your secondary. That's going to be, for this Niner group, young in spots. So to me, the big question is, how long is it going to take for Michael Williams and Alfred Collins and CJ West and Upton Stout and Marquise Siegel? How long is it? And Chase Lucas, I know he's not a rookie that they just drafted, but he's a young guy in the mix. How long is it going to take for those guys to get up to speed to where they're doing the job that they need to do individually as players to provide what this team did not have, particularly last year, defensively? I think offensively, even with the Christian McCaffrey news, offensively, I think the Niners are going to be fine. And at times are going to be more than fine. How long does it take for this defense to get going? Yeah. And the trick for me is the offense, in my estimation, is going to be the tip of the spear in the first few games of the season. I could see the Niners being a 500 team after 8 games, right? If that defense comes along, hopefully sooner rather than later, then I think you'll have more of a complementary football situation. So I think the main thing, just because of the breaking news about McCaffrey, is health. All right, let's put that there.
Yeah,
you can say that about a lot of teams. But put that there or put that aside. To me, it's these young guys on defense, and when do they provide the play up front to help out the rest of the guys on the backside?
RB, let's stay right there, because you touched on where I was going next, and I think it's something that all 49er fans have had their eyes on, is Michael Williams. We haven't seen him at all as far as preseason wise. Of course, you're locked and loaded. You're down in the Bay. You get to see him a little more than we do. What's the initial take? And I mean the serious initial take, because I heard when Nick Bosa talked about him, and heard Trent Williams talk about him, and of course the coaches. But what is to be expected from Michael Williams Sunday?
Well,
immediately.
That's a really good question, because I couldn't even begin to tell you how many snaps he's going to play. This is, talking to Dante Whitner and Patrick Willis. We got a new podcast thing going called the Grit Code. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe on YouTube. But Dante and Pat, they were talking about that transition from preseason to the regular season, and hearing Patrick Willis talk about it. Hall of Famer, all right, one of the greats. He was like, Jeff Olberg tried to tell me, hey man, you need to get ready for that jump in intensity. And Pat's like, nah, I'm doing Patrick Willis impression, not very good, but he's like, I can handle it. And Pat said he got into that first regular season game and his eyes were just swimming in his head. So I say all that to say, I don't know how Mykel Williams is going to deal with that. And I don't know how many snaps he's going to play. But to answer your question, putting that aside for a second, he looks the part first and foremost. And I don't think that we can really just say, oh, they're just talking in terms of what Trent Williams is saying and what Nick Bosa is saying. He has gotten their attention, and he absolutely looks the part. And really what you want from him is just handle your business out there on the right side, okay? And then when they bring you inside, because that's the thing with Mykel Williams, is that they've been trying to replace DeForest Buckner for years. I'm not saying he's DeForest Buckner by any stretch of the imagination, but they've been trying to replace his diversity from being out there in the end and then sliding him in on the inside on third downs, let Bryce Huff come in so he can, do the turbocharge, go get the quarterback off the edge. But Williams can still provide that push and get to the quarterback up the middle. As we all know, every quarterback does not like pressure up the middle. So that's the grand scheme of how he will fit into what the Niners want him to do. But as I said before, how quickly does that come about? But what they need for him right now, just don't try to do too much. Set the edge out there when they need you to. Play the run. That's the main thing they want him to do. And then if you get a chance to get the quarterback, absolutely do it. But don't try to be too greedy and try to make too much of a splash and going, I'm going to get the quarterback. And then you abandon the most important responsibility Williams has, which is to making sure that you set the edge and the runs don't get to your side. Don't hurt the team because you are trying to do too much in terms of being a young guy and I got to go get the quarterback. I got to go chase the cheese. Like, no, do your job. But how well can he do his job in his first regular season game? I couldn't even begin to tell you.
That's 49er insider Rod Brooks joining us each week here once again with Drive Guys. It's funny, Rod, because, Kyle Shanahan has this reputation, which is well-deserved, of being one of the creative minds, great play caller, exotic schemes. But 49er football still under Kyle Shanahan comes down to run the ball and stop the run. It kind of cracks me up. That's still what it comes down to. But I wanted to ask you to a point you made, how likely you guys think this is? Because I think this is likely. I think, especially given that the 49ers may get off to an uneven start with the youth of their defense, I think there's a really good chance that they spend a good portion of the middle portion of the season in kind of an NFC jumble bucket with a bunch of teams that are fighting for a wild card spot. That's kind of what I expect this year. How about you?
No, I'm right there with you. I think the Niners are going to make the playoffs this year. Winning the division, I don't know, just because that Rams outfit is pretty good. And if Matthew Stafford, they have their own issues. Niners have an issue with Christian McCaffrey. They have an issue with Matthew Stafford, even though he's going to play. But dude's got a back problem. Doctor said he need a bacchiotomy. And we know that that's absolutely nothing to mess with. But if he's healthy and that defense, what the Rams have, which is what the Niners are trying to get, the Rams went young and those guys hit and they are really, really good. That defense with what they can do offensively, I don't take any great pride in saying this, but I need to see the Rams falter before I go, no, those guys are in trouble. Seattle, I do find interesting. They're still defensively, it's still about what they have in their secondary. They made some moves linebacker-wise. I'm wondering how that offensive line is going to hold up for Sam Darnold. So I'll say all that to say I'm right there with you. 10 wins, 11 at the most for me with the Niners, because I do think it's going to be an uneven start at times. I hope I'm wrong, but I can easily see the Niners, like you said, just being, one of a group of a jumble of NFC teams. But then what will separate the Niners from that knot, from that group? It's got to be their defense, the young guys coming along, and the Niners staying, here we go, back to the main thing, relatively, if not completely healthy, and being able to have that offense that is going to keep some defensive coordinators up at night. Have that offense be one where when you need it to, no matter where you go, no matter where the situation, that you can lean on that offense to help you win games. And we haven't even talked about special teams yet, have we?
Oh,
But you know what?
Come on now, RB.
Let's not. How about let's not? How about we do that?
RB, man, speaking of leaning on, and it's been a huge transformation from last year to this year. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Man, all of a sudden, Colton McKivitz is like the Rock over it right there. last year, people couldn't wait to run him out of town. Like,
yeah,
Colton McKivitz out of there. Has Colton McKivitz really upped his play that much within a year, or is it where fools go? What's going on with Colton McKivitz all of a sudden?
I think that he has improved his play. I think that he's not as bad as people made him out to be. Last year he improved. Year before that he had some issues.
Right.
Last year I think he took a real step up, and the Niners on their offensive line, they obviously they look for talent, but they look for value. And to them, Colton McKivitz, what he provides at right tackle, is right in line with how they value him, so to speak, from a financial point of view. He's not a terrible pass blocker by any stretch of the imagination, and what he has shown to be in the run game is more than serviceable. And I think for a right tackle, serviceable is good, But again, you have to be better in other areas, and I think the Niners are. They're better at left guard this year than they have been in previous years with Ben Bartch. Obviously, Dominic Pooney had a hell of a year last year. Thank goodness he's healthy. He's a Pro Bowl caliber right guard. In the middle, with what they have with Brindle, I have my concerns, so to speak, but it's not dire by any stretch of the imagination with Brindle. So, with McKivitz, he's. I know I'm not necessarily doing him any favors when I say this, but he ain't bad. I think of all of their problems, to me, he's down there on the list.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, we're gonna
put it this way. And it's just my opinion, and I'm sure there's some metrics that are going to prove me wrong on this, but just from what I've seen and what I see, better than Mike McGlinchey, in my opinion.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
I like that.
Rod Brooks with us. We're going to plug you into something for the first time. We've never trotted this out. The faithful 49er faithful faithometer or faithometer. So it's just 0 to 10 here. And 0 is I have no faith in that whatsoever. 10 is no problem. Totally faithful. So this is a tough one to start out with you on, Rod. But where is your personal faithometer on Jake Moody?
Damn.
People want to know. They'd be angry. Listeners would be angry if we didn't ask about Jake Moody.
I thought you were going to ask me about going to Seattle and winning.
Oh, we can get to that too.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to say. Man's leash is mad short. Okay. Because what has been proven in the NFL, they got Greg Joseph. I shouldn't say they waiting, but they got that phone in hand and one phone call. Greg Joseph is back in the mix, and Jake Moody is cooling his heels somewhere else.
You got that choke collar on, basically.
100%. 100%. And Jake Moody knows that. And what's the thing about Jake Moody? What did everybody talk about? I mean, even his coach, even Brant Boyer, his new special teams coach, talked about it. Says it's a confidence thing. I'm paraphrasing, but everybody says it's a confidence thing. He's got the leg, he's got the talent, but it's a confidence thing. And he is under, I think more than anybody on that team, he is under the most pressure, because could this game come down to a field goal in Seattle? 100%. And if the defense fights and the offense fights, and you can point to Jake Moody in this hypothetical situation that I hope does not happen, you can point to Jake Moody as a person he is one of, if not the singular reason they lost the game. I don't know how you sleep at night getting ready for that, but he's got to find a way to get that confidence right. And he not only needs to drill kicks, the kickoff situation, which is new. Hey man, you need to stop kicking the ball out of bounds.
Man.
Okay? Yeah. All right. This dynamic kickup is set up to where you can just have guys not return the football, or you can get them to return the football and get them to start at the 20-yard line, or maybe even within the 20-yard line.
Jay, you notice he hasn't given a
I
number.
know. We've been doing this for a long time now, baby.
I'm saying with him, I mean,
no pressure, no Jake Moody pressure, RB.
Did you guys know? And I found this out yesterday watching the Cowboys lose to the Eagles in hilarious fashion.
Yeah, Draper's on vacation, so we can't really,
Hey man, I'm wondering where the Philly hater is at. I guess he's still,
he'll be back next week. Man.
He's still drinking Yingling and eating cheesesteaks and spelling a 6-letter word that everybody can spell over and over again. We get it. You know how to spell Eagles. Can y'all shut up for a second? That they have the new kicking balls. And now the kickers can actually massage the balls.
Right.
Pause.
We're reaching a little bit.
So I'm saying is that I think it can be more. It's proven to be more comfortable for kickers in the preseason. I think that can be an area of comfort for Jake Moody. But this is a guy that, until further notice, is still suffering from a crisis of confidence, and that is a very long-winded, way of saying that. Right now, my confidence is a 4. On Jake Moody,
a little under 50-50.
Yeah,
he's got the leg. They've shortened the stride. It's now 2 steps instead of 3 steps. The whole operation is different. It's better as far as long snapper and holder with Morstead. So everything is there for him, but there has been nothing over the past few years that has been able to give me confidence in Jake Moody. So,
all right. I'm the only one in the world, I think. I miss Tabor Pepper. He's a great interview, but hopefully everything works out there. Rod, before we let you go, please tell us once again about your new football podcast.
Oh, thank you very much. So the Grit Code podcast with Dante Whitner and the great Hall of Famer Patrick Willis. We do that once a week. First episode is already out. We're going to tape the new episode on Tuesday. Have that out for you next week, talking about the first week of the NFL season and then going into the second week. And also I have my own podcast, Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends. Check that out on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. You don't have to like it, please. Just subscribe. You do it.
You can still say you like it. You don't have to like it. Just
you can get your Jake Moody on.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna give him a. He's gonna do well, but a 4.
I think you're gonna like it, but I ain't gonna beg you to like it. Just subscribe to it. If you don't like it, that's your problem. That's your hang up, not mine. But I go live with my buddy Marcus Osborne every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 o'clock. So we'll do a live one tonight. Quality Hang on YouTube and the Grit Code on YouTube as well.
Thank you for your time on this Friday. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Looking forward to doing this on the regular, fellas, no doubt.
Yep.
Much
Thank
love,
you very
RB.
much. Yes.
All right, now.
Rob Brooks, his first visit of the year,
Yes,
already
sir.
an eventful one. When we come back, another Sacramento King is headed overseas. What next? Sacktown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of